Ini ya? Mas. Jika pointernya dia ada di sebelah sini. Ada ini. Oh, ya belum. Aduh, kamunya nggak presentasi. Ini nggak salah juga. Ada yang lain nggak? Pakai PB aja. Ada laptop nggak? Kamu pernah pakai buat presentasi? Kamu apa laptop?
Ini nggak stabil nih.
Oh, itu masih colokan itunya.
Aku tetap nggak colokan laptop.
Asus bisa.
Berarti dia nggak mendeteksi kesini ya laptopnya.
Apa?
Yang Faisal laptopnya nggak bisa mendeteksi ini. Karena ininya nyala.
Iya, dianya nggak nge-output. Soalnya pas duplikat juga nggak bisa ya. Ini CT. Ini abi unit, 2-in-1. Bisa itu mah. Yang udah pasti bisa mah Asus sama bisa itu. Nah, yang udah bisa itu. Yang udah Formatnya beda sendiri ya?
Formatku tidak PPTS, tapi
Hah? What the hell PPTN? Pakai open face, apa open office gitu? Enggak. Pakai apa? Pakai open face apa? Ya kenapa bisa PPTN? PPTN itu apa? Enggak extension diulang extensionnya. Itu tuh apa?
aku masuk ke mana?
Coba di save lagi kayaknya buat pindahin kacau deh. Yang sini bisa kok. Coba CS yang sini.
Nggak bisa dibuka.
Nggak bisa dibuka, dipindahin lagi aja.
Terpalu. Baby sudah siap itunya kan?
Laptopnya bisa ke sana lagi. Kamunya ke sini, laptopnya aja yang bisa. Jadi laptop kan bisa kayak gini. Itunya agak ke sana coba. Itu tolong itunya agak ke sana. Bukan itu sama Rizaldi aja, itunya si kabelnya. Nah, udah di situ aja. Gak usah berlebihan, cuma digeser gitu supaya dianya bisa ngadep kayak gini nih. Biar laptopnya bisa kayak gini. Nah.
Right, shall we start?
Yes.
Guys, Sunny?
Shoot, ini kenapa lagi ya?
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Nathan Williams and I would like to present my proposed Skripsi title, which is Posthumanism in Guys, Sunny?
Shoot, ini kenapa lagi ya?
Present the artificial life and real life. Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Nathan with artificial intelligence and its intelligence and this condition raises posthuman condition that make the
Apa lagi ya?
assume that human can and will be immortal. Instead of facing it, the problems are solved by the integration of the colony and its civilization into a new artificial world. These novels view that way as an effort to preserve the human colony and civilization as a whole. Research is based on the concept of posthumanism proposed by Catherine Hales and Robert Peckrell, and also the concept of cyber by Dan Harvey. And the works that I'm going to use are Computation City, Distress, and Yes. By the So my purpose of my research is that to explain how three against science fiction works, present the concept of posthumanism, and to explain how posthumanism affects this novel's view about human civilization. So far, my tentative finding is that in Communication City, posthumanism is presented by using the characterization of the copies, or you can say the clonings, and one of them is the one that was created by Padjadjaran. By using the copies as the symbol of posthumanism, humans are considered able to avoid death and become immortal by their independence from natural sources. Although copies act as themselves, they have no authority over their life because the key to eternity remains in the hands of the company that produced them. And yeah, that's it. This is all of my references that I've used until now. Have you read all the references? Which ones? Which ones have you read? Number 7. I've never read the number 7.
How are you planning to acquire access to that book?
Oh, I have it. I have it on my laptop. I just don't have like 2 days.
Okay.
I found it on JustStory and then I already did it. I searched for posthumanism.
You mean the novels? What's the novels?
No, number 7.
Oh, and Hales too.
Number 13.
Yeah, number 13. I've read the Peckrell, but in the Peckrell it mentioned Hales, and then I haven't read it, but I haven't.
You haven't read Hales?
Yeah, I read Peckrell.
Yeah.
I've read Peckrell.
No, he haven't read Hales,
Yeah, Hales.
although it's in critical theory.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Huh?
I know you don't read anything from critical theory. Now you know why you need to read those. At least realize
I didn't
that.
know that. I searched it in Google because I didn't know that was in.
Why don't you just from now on check whatever there is in critical theory, especially on the section on text and textual technology.
Could you go back to the slide? Tujuan. So how is posthumanism presented in the first novel, for instance?
For instance, in Communication City, the posthumanism are presented by the way human can be transferred into copies, and by the copies himself. So, for example, the
As in cloning,
yeah, they call it
an actual human figure.
Android. It's an Android, so it's machine inside, but it's like a flesh and blood outside. So it's like look like the human, but inside they're and they realize that they're not human.
Okay, that shows that that only shows that the novels present possibilities of humans being copied. But how does the presentation of copies question humanity in terms of posthumanism?
Posthumanism, as far as I
How is humanity questioned? Itu dulu yang dijawab. How is humanity questioned and
So the assumption is posthumanism questions essential humanity. How does a story involving copies or human clones or human machines question humanity? In your opinion, what is posthumanism?
posthumanism, in my opinion, is like beyond human. So it means that we're human, but that at the same time, the technology made us like beyond ourselves.
Okay, but the copies, so in the story, there are copies and there's a biological human.
Yeah.
How does the copy, how does the story present the existence of copies, and how does that affect the biological human?
It's
There is the original, right?
yeah.
And that original is biological.
Yeah.
So how does the copy affect the original?
So in the novel, there's like a rebellion against the company who made the copies,
Hmm.
which means the biological human. So the copies are demanding their agencies, like their
Yes,
human
but it
rights.
doesn't question the humanity of the original, right? Posthumanism questions the humanity of human beings, whether human beings are quote unquote human, different from animals as well as different from machines. The existence, I don't see how the existence of copies questions the humanity of the original. Is it called is he or she called the original?
The real one.
You can't say it's real.
The biological
Yeah,
one.
The biological one.
Biological. But and then
What is it called? What are they called in the
flesh and
novel?
blood.
Okay, so they're the flesh and blood and copies.
Yes.
So the flesh and blood. So I don't see how that's posthumanistic unless, in my understanding of posthumanism, is that the original becomes, if you're going to refer to Hales or Haraway, then there should be questions about the essential humanity of the flesh and blood. But the flesh and blood and the machines are separate entities.
But the machines are installed with the memories of the biologic of the flesh and blood.
Yes, but so the one that's post-human are the machines. Memories are transferred, but then you have two consciousnesses: the consciousness of of the copies and the consciousness of the.
But how but in the novel?
So whose consciousness is affected? The flesh and blood or the copy?
The copies.
So
It can still be discussed. I mean, posthumanism.
well, she has to think of. No, she has to think of how, in her discussion, she has to think of how the flesh and bloods are affected. Because if you read Haraway and you read Hales, you talk about how technology changes the biological human, which turns out to be not totally biological because of how technology is appended or linked to them. Okay, so uh, perhaps you missed it in this novel, the way technology affects the flesh and blood and the humanity of the flesh and blood rather than the humanity of the machines, because the machines are assumed as being not human anyways, so they're not post-human, they become humanized. Okay, so is the humanization of machine, okay, so this is the question that you have to ask. Is Does posthumanism question human beings as biological beings? Okay. Second, does the question of posthumanism involve the humanity of machines? Okay. The first one is whether it questions the whether human beings are either biological or machines or both. Okay, that's the first question. That's clear if you read Haraway and Hales. Now, the other question is whether posthumanism also involves questioning the humanity of machines, not only how machinic human beings are, but how human machines are. Jadi bulak-balik gitu. And you have to see whether the issue is explored differently in the other two novels. What about in the other? Have you read the other two novels?
Yes, in the diaspora, it's also there is
Assignment.
in diaspora. It's also there are three classified beings, like classified creatures. The first one is pleasure. Pleasures is like flesh and blood.
Mhm.
So the second one is laser robots. So it's a computer, like a software based intelligence, but it used to be human.
Okay, so you have to think about so the third question is you have to think about the interface between the interface. Okay, remember in your Skripsi you will use the term antarmuka, the interface between the biological and the machinic or the mechanical. I don't know what the term is. Because you're going to focus on being cyborgs. If it's totally biological and totally machines, if they're separate, then it's not cyborg. It's not an issue of being a cyborg. Okay? And the question about corporate influence.
Corporate influence.
Yes, the role of corporations and capitalist uh, and capitalism in posthumanism.
We have to use the post-colonialism, right?
Why?
Because I don't know, like because
No,
there's
this is materialist.
I don't have to.
It's Marxist. It's not that you don't have to. I don't know why. How is that relevant?
No, because yesterday I thought about like because the authority of the copies is not by copies, but the company that made them.
Yeah, so
Which
that's Marxist.
That's
So you have to use Marxist or materialist um, um approach in order to understand how the post-human culture greatly involves capital, because you can't have technology without capital. You have to accumulate enough funds in order to do the research. Yeah, and from human history, no other system was able to accumulate that much, that such great numbers, great amount of funds, other than capitalism. So you have to think. Maybe you will have to consult Bu Ari in terms of how corporations affect human history and money, technology. Itunya goyang lagi.
Dari itu aja. Could you please go back to the title?
Yeah, the title
Feasible.
is feasible. It's flexible enough because hopefully, hopefully you will find new things. So you, your argument, the details of your argument will be in your writing rather than in the title. But the title is, I think,
Feasible.
feasible and flexible enough, so that while you change your mind, it's still the same title.
Oh, so it's something. But I can add like more definition if I need one.
What do you mean definition?
Like definition of transhumanism. You have to.
No, that's later. That's inside.
In your
Okay.
Skripsi.
So even if you find out something about transhumanism, then you say, then
Include that in-
in your discussion you'll link transhumanism to posthumanism and that how that's different, and so on.
Jadi, oke ya judulnya.
Ada usulan?
Okay. Yeah, read the title and then we'll make it official.
Posthumanisme dalam
The title of my script.
bahasa Indonesia. The title of my skripsi is Posthumanisme dalam 3 karya.
Next, Ulfi.
Tapi ya ini di Wikipedia bilangnya dia amateur mathematician.
Kok dua kali munculnya?
Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to give a presentation on my purpose and judul thesis in Sastra. Nanti Universitas sebagai strategi untuk menangani isu sosial. Here's my purpose abstract in the novel of Notable Revolution from the Island Kidnapped from Padjadjaran, about indication of anti-heroism traits in the characters, which was the same in the narration as a form of strategy in order to compromise social class and colonial issues rather than power. The instigated concept of anti-heroism in the character refers to the learning of memory opposition, which defies the characteristic of evil and good. The social class and colonial issues are represented in the narrative, for example, through interactions that occur between one observer against gradually and inductively, who is a medical student. And the anti-hero character, according to science, is a manifestation of the conflict between the real and real interaction, which refer to equality between primitive circumstance and heroic ideal. Along with the identification of the anti-hero concept in the characters who oppose the empire in the story, it can be related to the indication of the use of anti-heroism concept as a compromise strategy in dealing with social class issues and colonial issues. Next, the work that I will be studying for this undergraduate thesis are Treasure Island, original published in 1883, Kidnap, original published in 1886, and Catriona, original published in 1892. And then the objective of my undergraduate thesis as follows: to explain the representation of anti-racism in three novels of Stevenson, and next to explain the representation of anti-racism as compromise strategy addressing
kok dua?
class and colonial issues in public representation.
Kamu duplikat.
My hypothetical finding in the
Harus
novel
diisi ulang ya.
my research is that in Stevenson's novels, anti-racist internal opposition in the narration and dialogues and characters who have dualism in their characters, such as
Oh.
Tom and Silver.
Yang keduanya kamu nggak ngapus.
Primary opposition.
Kamu copy.
Silver in the narration was presented as a character with both
Nah,
strong,
sama-sama.
intelligent, and charismatic and loyal. But on the other hand, it can change to be persuasive, confident, and optimistic. His finding dualism in Silver
Udah
shows
sini ada yang
there's
udah
a
kamu
conflict
fokus ke sini ya.
between power traits and reality which reject
Ini
the
saya harus
idea of
ngisi
human
semuanya
independence
karena
and
required.
So, thus the dualism in Silver's traits
Maksudnya
is
maksudnya nanti aja, dia mau ngebahas dulu.
interaction with the ship captain, who squire and movies with me, that he lives intersect with the rejection toward the idea of personal realization captain in him. And here's my
Okay.
You weren't talking to us, so I didn't really understand what you were saying.
Could you go back to temuan? Sorry, tujuan.
Can I see the abstract again? Which sentence in your abstract is your main argument?
Anti-hero concept and characters who oppose the empire in the story can be related to the indication of the use of anti-hero concept as a compromise strategy in dealing with social issues and political issues.
So what do you mean by compromise?
So in the story, Silver is as anti-hero character.
So silver is present in all the stories?
Yeah, it's just an example.
Okay, so what are, okay, so don't mention just silver as if you only read one novel. So the question is, so how is it how does it, can you make a sentence, a general sentence about all the anti-heroes and how the use of an anti-hero is a compromising strategy? Just look at the tujuan. See, that's number 2. So far, in your understanding, how is anti-heroism, because it's not clear, how is anti-heroism, how can anti-heroism used as a strategy to compromise, to make a compromise? What's being compromised?
So,
Between what and what?
so there, in for example, in there's a the social class and colonial issue that I found in the
So you're assuming that there is a contradiction between social class issues and colonial issues?
in the novel that I read. There is some
If there's a contradiction, if there's a compromise, there's a contradiction, and there's a compromise between the contradiction to find a middle ground. So my question is, what are what is contradictory to each other?
so there's it's
Is it social class and colonial issues? Are those the opposing uh,
the,
what?
the issue is that in the novel that I read is there is
So it tries to compromise what? For example, if let's say Patisna and I have a difference in opinion, we become two opposing entities, and a compromise takes place to find a middle ground between my opinion, my stance, and Patisna's stance. So the question is, what's being compromised? Between what and what?
between the empire and the lower class and that represent in the novel as empires.
What do you mean empire and lower class? How is that oppositional? If there's a compromise between the lower class and the upper class, I understand. If there's an opposition between the east and the west, the colonizer and the colonized, Britain and
that was not an anti-superhero. That was superhero
because
because it compromises with the empire, with the government, with the
everything.
authority.
Yeah. So
So like I said,
okay, a
like I said,
hero.
can you please share with us, like you're talking to an elementary students? Could you just describe first the anti-hero meaning, and then how is an anti-hero different from
Hero.
anti-villain, and which types of anti-heroes you are going to talk about, and later, eventually, you might need to explain about the compromises you're trying to explain. Karena misalnya ya, yang belum saya dapat itu, kalau anti-hero itu kan a protagonist who lacks some of the conventional attributes of
A hero.
heroes.
Yeah.
Itu dulu. Saya masih rada bingung, kamu belum bisa bedain traditional heroes dengan yang anti-heroes. Karena melawan itu jadi dengan empire, dengan authority.
So is there a hero in the novels? Are there heroes?
Yes.
Okay, are they aligned with the empire, or in terms of British imperialism, where are the heroes are placed or located?
The hero is with the imperialism.
Okay, what about in terms of social class? Where are the heroes?
The hero is in the middle.
Bedanya anti heroisme sama anti hero apa? Anti heroisme itu apa? Long John Silver itu anti hero. Anti heroisme itu apa? Okay, so how do you so anti-heroism is a characteristic of the novel, of the narration, of the narrative.
It's the character. It's the character.
The character is already an anti-hero. How? Maksudnya gimana? Tokoh anti-hero-nya memiliki sifat anti-heroistis gitu. Anti-heroik. Dianya kan udah anti-hero. Kecuali kalau karena novelnya menyajikan anti-hero, maka novelnya mengusung konsep anti-heroisme gitu.
Yes.
Really? Kidnap semuanya di kapal.
Oh, settingnya seperti no. Tiga-tiganya. Tiga. Setting utamanya. No, the only one in the ship.
Like the whole novel, the setting is on the ship.
Mengusung narasi perjalanan dalam kapal.
Yes, in the beginning of the novel.
Ini narasi tentang perjalanan dalam kapal, petualangan bajak laut, harta yang tersembunyi, pemberontakan strategi imperium.
That's treasure island.
Belum. Narasi kita memiliki jejak kemiripan dalam penyajian. Gimana tadi?
Apa?
Jadi gimana tadi?
I don't get it.
Nanti bedanya kamu sama Dryden kan dalam menurut Dryden maka Treasure Island menjadikan One Day Silver sebagai tokoh anti-hero yang humanistis. Jadi kamu karena kamu membahas anti-hero kan?
Udah dibenerin.
So,
Menjadikan ya.
Bukan yang ini. Bukan view for.
What will be
Dari
the
drive
difference
kan.
between your
And
Skripsi and Dryden's analysis on Treasure Island that then Long John Silver as anti-enigmatic and
ya, yang itu mana?
jadi konsep
Di drive
anti
kamu
saya
coba.
lihat
Ya coba.
saya melihat dari bukunya Holian yang sama
Terus?
antara hero dan hero. Jadi
Itu.
kalau hero itu dia berada di satu sisi dalam posisi benar itu. Jadi dari yang saya lihat, terus kalau saya lihat lagi nih, dia mengatakan kalau anti hero itu adalah suatu karakter yang
Ini mana yang berakhirnya?
yang berbentuk respon terhadap
Nah ini enggak ini.
keraguan
Enggak kan?
atas nilai tradisional hero.
Itu udah ada di atas.
Dari itu saya melihat dari karakter Silver.
Tuh ini tadi.
Anti hero itu adalah karakter yang antara dalam satu karakter itu memiliki dualisme yang jadi berbentuk.
Harusnya tadi kopinya langsung diubah itunya doang. Dengan nama mahasiswanya doang. Iya. send lagi. Enggak. Coba. Saya buka lagi.
People have been and have talked about anti-heroism in National Island, not only Brighton. And how is yours?
Udah.
And how is yours to be different? So, jadi karena dari itu belum pernah ada penelitian tentang anti itu sebagai strategi kompromi untuk menangani isu-isu sosial.
Iya, makanya jadi si kompromi ini intinya skripsi kamu kan, intinya. Cuma yang biasa bingung itu kompromi antara apa sama apa. What's being compromised? Berarti ada posisi A dan ada posisi B. Kompromi itu berarti cari jalan tengah, the middle ground between position 1 and position 2. Now the question is, what is position 1 and what is position 2? Whose position are they? A compromise is not a compromise is the middle ground between two opposing arguments, or opposing stances. Bukan kayak kelas menengah, kelas gitu. Itu mah bukan kompromi namanya. Jadi misalnya gini, misalnya contoh yang tadi lagi, saya sama Pak Tisna beda pendapat. Kalau ada kompromi antara saya sama Pak Tisna, itu bukan bikin orang satu lagi gitu, yang jadi saya sama Pak Tisna kawin terusnya punya anak kayak gitu. Nah, kompromi itu bukan bikin anak, kompromi itu cari jalan tengah antara posisinya Pak Tisna sama posisinya saya. Nah, pertanyaannya adalah dua posisi ini posisinya siapa aja? Posisi A itu apa? Posisi A itu posisinya siapa? Posisi B itu posisinya siapa? Dan posisinya A itu apa? Dan posisinya B itu apa? Argumennya apa? Perbedaan pendapatnya itu apa? Pendiriannya itu apa? Jadi kalau kamu bilang, if you say between, let's say, the supporters of the empire and the opponents of the empire, gitu. What is the position of the supporters of the empire? And what is the position of the opponents of the empire? And how does the use of an anti-hero character creates a compromise between the two? If you say anti-heroism, it must be more than just merely having a character that's an anti-hero, ya nggak sih? Masa ya cuma karena ada tokoh anti-hero, maka ada anti-heroism gitu. Kayaknya kalau isme kan lebih dari sekedar cuma ada tokoh anti-hero-nya doang gitu. Coba saya usul kayak gini. Heroism ada hubungannya sama empire. Villainy ada hubungannya sama those who pose a threat to the empire. Anti-hero shows a middle ground, not quite a compromise. Tetapi itu menunjukkan bahwa ada a liminal or a borderline space in the novel in which there are characters who do not really support the empire, but not really a threat either. Jadi kadang-kadang in a way it supports, in other ways it's a threat gitu. Now, if you can explain Long John Silver in a way, there's a possibility that I might understand one aspect. Tapi itu baru satu aspek gitu. Kebayang sayanya gitu. But it's not quite a compromise. It's just
finding a middle ground.
Finding a middle ground atau ada tokoh yang ambivalen gitu. Tapi bukan compromise. Kalau compromise itu artinya kalau compromise itu kan jadi kesannya ya udah deh, imperialisme nggak imperialismenya jangan imperialisme amat, terusnya anti imperialismenya nggak usah anti amat gitu. Itu kompromi mah kayak gitu. Ya misalnya saya kompromi itu kayak gini, Pak Tisna mau jual air mineral di cupnya ke saya seharga 5.000. Terus saya bilang, aduh ini mah Serdos belum keluar, jadi 3.000. Nah itu kompromi.
Tiba-tiba jatuh di 4.000.
Ya terusnya nego gitu. Terus ya udah harganya. Nah komprominya itu si harga yang disepakatinya itu. Kecuali kalau ada nilai tentang imperialisme dan I don't see that. I don't see in your presentation whether you're going to talk about imperialistic values and how those imperialistic values are compromised atau anti-colonial values and how those are compromised. Compromise itu kan artinya juga ini ya kan kayak nggak utuh lagi. Kayak kalau misalnya the security system is compromised gitu. Jadi misalnya posisinya Pak Tisna udah nggak utuh, posisi saya udah nggak utuh, dua-duanya udah bocor gitu. Nah itu kompromi. Ada dua promises yang digabungin.
Ambivalence tadi ya, ada yang ambivalen kamu tadi ngeliatnya.
Kalau saya sih ngelihat kayaknya dari cara kamu menyajikannya, kayaknya tokoh anti-hero-nya itu merupakan tokoh yang posisinya terhadap British imperialism sama dominasi kelas menengah itu ambivalen. Di satu sisi dia kelas menengah, di satu sisi dia nggak kelas menengah, di satu sisi dia mendukung imperialisme, di sisi lain dia mengancam juga gitu. I think we talked about it before that pirates, privateers, are basically private business owners that are not recognized by the state. Jadi they're libertarians. Tahu libertarians nggak sih? Apa sih yang pokoknya ekstrim kanan aja. Jadi pokoknya keterlibatan negara itu hilang sama sekali gitu.
Kalau ini kompromis, memang dua orang atau dua kelompok yang beradu apapun itu siapa dengan siapa.
Nah itu dia.
Saya khawatirnya itu kamu bilangnya yang beradu itu adalah negara dengan apapun yang kamu sebut sebagai anti-hero. Kan kalau yang beradu pendapat itu saya dengan Pak Ali, bukan salah satu dari kita yang anti-hero.
Iya.
Iya harus begitu. Anti-hero itu misalnya bisa aja orang ketiga, apapun lalu belajar. History compromise antara South dengan North. Orang ketiganya adalah Kongres. Jadi akhirnya South dengan North lebih patuh sama Kongres. Tapi South dan North itu bukan anti-hero.
Iya. Dan kongresnya juga bukan. Anti-hero itu setahu saya, it's a character yang bukan, dia protagonis tapi bukan, tidak punya heroic characteristics gitu. Dia punya villain, characteristics of villain, tetapi peran naratifnya hero. Tapi sifatnya, jadi kayak anti-hero itu kan kayak apa sih? Ada novel tokohnya kayak ini anti-hero itu kayak tokoh-tokoh di Ocean 11, Ocean 12 gitu. Jadi mereka penjahat gitu tapi
bukan berarti mereka peduli sama apa yang sedang mereka hadapi.
Iya. Tapi mereka intinya si cerita.
Iya.
Mereka penting gitu.
Superman itu kan peduli, dia punya korek.
Nah, udah nonton Joker belum? Atau belum punya duit ya? Nah, jadi
Silver memiliki karakter itu nggak ciri-ciri itu? Long John Silver.
Long John Silver mah nama restoran.
Dan tiga nomornya
Ada nggak yang seperti itu semua? Nggak mirip nggak? Atau ada kecenderungan?
Itu
Cuma ingin memasang bukunya itu buat belakang penonton.
Tapi how important is Long John Silver to the narrative, to the whole narrative?
Dia mempengaruhi
Is he the main character, one of the main characters?
di oppose.
No, is he a main character? Like, how often does he appear? Huh? Why are you saying he's not the main character?
He interacts with the main characters. Who are the main characters? And Long John Silver is
What?
he is opposing these two main characters. Ya berarti iya.
Okay, let's do this. Film Batman sebelumnya apa ya? Bat yang sama Heath Ledger. Okay. Both Batman and the Joker are anti-heroes. None of them are heroes. Batman-nya punya masalah, terusnya nanti kadang-kadang si Jokernya, oh iya sih, dia benar juga gitu. Si Batman, oh ternyata dia salah juga gitu. Atau misalnya kayak yang apa sih yang terakhir kali itu yang Marvel lawan Marvel terus Batman versus Superman gitu. Yang Civil War gitu. Itu kan jadi itu hero-nya siapa? Soalnya hero-nya punya ciri-ciri jahat gitu, ciri-ciri yang diatribusi ah? Gitu. Jadi si tokoh-tokohnya itu anti-heroes karena mereka the hero of the story, but they're not heroes of the moral values gitu.
Kayak Dexter. Dexter.
Oh iya kayak Dexter kayak gitu. Dexter mah udah lewat lah, merekanya belum lahir.
Breaking Bad.
Gitu. Nah, kalau mau ngomongin anti-hero, barusan kan dosen-dosennya banyak menyebutkan ini mah hampir semua yang sekarang-sekarang ini pada anti-hero gitu. Nah, harusnya penyajian anti-hero-nya itu diarahin ke kenyataan bahwa tokoh-tokoh utama dalam in contemporary narratives tend to be anti-heroes. It's a contemporary trend gitu to view the main character as not as heroes but present main characters as anti-heroes. Nah, kalau ini misalnya akhir abad 19 berarti ini nunjukin bahwa ini sedang beralih ke modernisme gitu. Dan berarti juga kesetiaannya terhadap the narrative's position towards imperialism becomes ambivalent to huh? The narrative's position, the novel's position towards imperialism becomes ambivalent, and the narrative's position towards the social class system also becomes ambivalent. Jadi dia ngeritik imperialisme juga, ngeritik sistem sosial Inggris juga, gitu. Tokoh-tokohnya yang kejebak di tengah-tengahnya, makanya dia jadi anti-hero gitu, mempertanyakan nilai-nilai yang sedang berlaku. Jadi nggak ada orang yang benar-benar jahat dan nggak ada orang yang benar-benar baik gitu.
Anti-hero-nya tetap bisa muncul di judul kan?
Ya bisa.
Tokoh anti-hero sebagai
Enggak, anti-heroisme aja amannya sih kayak tadi posthumanisme kan gampang tuh nantinya fleksibelnya. Cuma yang jadi masalah ini kan how you're proposing the argument, your argument is confusing. Kayak ngarahnya kemana, ini mau ngebahas apa gitu. Ujung-ujungnya apa gitu.
belum sampai situ ya? Belum. but the characteristics of this anti-hero are apparent in 3 novels.
Really? After a year? After your hiatus?
Like they have these characteristics of a villain gitu kan ya, ada. Maksudnya ciri-ciri villainnya ada.
Tetapi anti-heroism harus go beyond a discussion of the character. Jadi anti-heroism itu harus seluruh novelnya itu hentai.
Iya, jadi arahnya ke yang tadi itu ya, karena ini
Ya,
akhir
terus
abad
ciri
19 menjelang modern.
terus narasinya jadi gimana, settingnya jadi gimana, temanya jadi gimana gitu.
Udah deh.
Could you go back to the title? Nah, isu kelas sosial kolonialnya itu sih nanti aja di dalam.
Iya, udah terorisme udah aja gitu. Nanti ada kata kompromi lagi.
Yang keduanya yang saya bingung, jadi kalau saya kebagian mungkin bisa dilakukan, bukan bisa dilakukan, itu adalah yaitu yang saya tadi bilang, jadi karakteristik anti heroisme di 3 novel ini tinggal dijabarin aja. Kalau anti heroisme itu
Apa?
Gimana aja 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
Melibatkan elemen-elemen apa aja? Apakah
itu tuh ada karakteristik yang mana saja? Contohnya itu pada ini, udah, tapi itu deskriptif.
ya
Yang keduanya ini yang saya belum
hubunginnya?
ngakalin gimana dengan membaca ini dan kamu punya teori ini, itu kamu tuh bisa menyajikan ini yang orang lain nggak bisa baca. Kalau nggak punya teori yang kamu punya. Yang kedua ini yang kayaknya kamu mestinya.
Ya, tujuan awalnya, yang tujuan nomor 1 itu, udah itu, udah. Cuma kamunya juga terlalu terbatas memahami anti-heroism seakan-akan cuma terkait sama ngebahas tokoh anti-hero-nya, dan tokoh anti-hero-nya juga kayaknya nggak mungkin cuma Long John Silver doang deh. Si anak-anaknya itu kan ini kan cerita-cerita anak semua. Si tokoh utamanya anak-anak. Anak-anaknya anak-anak yang patuh pada orang tua kan? Enggak kan? Karena kalau dia patuh sama orang tua nggak akan diculik. Gitu. Tetapi kan anak-anaknya sebagai hero adventure-nya, tetapi jadi dia kan kayak Peter Pan gitu, nakal, ngelawan kayak gitu. Berarti dia anti-hero gitu. Jadi anak-anaknya juga bisa anti-hero. Nggak harus Long John Silver. Nah, berarti kan ngomongin perilaku anaknya, apa segala macam. Lebih luas daripada fokus sama Long John Silver doang.
Ya, berarti nanti tinggal pertanyaan keduanya ya, di identifikasi masalah.
121, 131 udah selamat. Cuman yang 122, 132 harusnya kalau menurut saya bukan yang kompromi.
Dan soalnya 132 itu yang pembahasannya bab 4-nya itu.
Ini ambivalen, jadi ambivalen posisinya.
Soalnya juga misalnya saya belum dengar yang apa tuh
Kenapa kamu lagi ngunyah sesuatu?
urusannya dengan gentleman sama masculine maturity.
Nah, si anak-anak itu mau nggak jadi gentleman? Nanti ada konsep tentang gentleman. Nah, itu opposing itunya bisa tuh gentleman sama apa? Iya. Habis dia udah setahun disuruh matok-matok sendiri. Kata dia sayanya spoon feeding. Dia pengennya saya itu nyuruh Ulfi disebarin aja itunya bijinya, terus biar dia matok-matok sendiri gitu, Vi. Katanya saya memanjakan. Ya diubah tuh judulnya biar cepat.
Anti-terorisme dalam. Diketik.
Kalau mau ngubah sambung terus saya bacaan yang limit tentang sampai blog.
Memang.
Jadi dia fokus sama yang bisa kebaca sama anak umur 12 tahun.
Anti-terorisme dalam 3 novel. Could you please read the title? So my Next, Aryo. Ada Naufal dan
But I don't understand.
belum.
Untung dia what? Loh, abis pelantikan rektor kok pakai jeans?
Nggak jadi. Soalnya mereka itu mesti
Monet. Tapi Faris udah dandan bagus, suruh dia aja yang gitu.
Pakai rompi.
Udah pakai rok. It would be better if he had a bow tie. Light blue.
29.
Tadi dingin banget soalnya. Sebelum pembicaraan memanas tadi masih adem. Tapi kalau Faris sudah serapi ini SUJS gimana sidangnya ya? Hah? Oke. Rambutnya dihijauin nanti ya, rambutnya nanti dihijauin.
Oke, Naufal. Start.
Good morning, my name is Nova. And today I want to present my proposed research topic, which is double consciousness in four works of geometry. The four novellas with Jamaica Kincaid, Lucy, Annie John, A Small Place, and Mr. Potter show that there is a double consciousness which causes identity crisis on character. Double consciousness is a state of awareness when someone has two or more different identities. Those identities will eventually merge into one new identity without losing the essence of both previous identities. The double consciousness can be seen in the form of narration or character dialogue. By having double consciousness, it makes the character having a hard time to put themselves in the domain of both identities. And how to react to the merging of both identities. This is the work that I'm working with, and John, A Small Place, Lucy, and Mr. Potter. The purpose is to show how Kincaid novella show the how double consciousness is represented through the narration.
It's presented.
Is presented in the narration or the characters dialogue. And the second one is how the double consciousness is affecting the identity crisis on characters. what I have found this far is that in novella Lucy, the character Lucy shows that he rejected the identities, her identity as a part of his mother, and she also rejected uh, the identities that had been given by Maria, his employer. Uh, in this matter, I thought that she, by rejecting what had been given to her, she 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 rejects to become both to become part of both identities. The there are the quotation, and but also I want to argue about how by rejecting the double consciousness, it also showed the act of an anti-colonial, because double consciousness, for what I understand so far, is the product of colonialism. Because Du Bois said that
The boys.
Du Bois, it's actually pronounced Du Bois.
No,
I thought it.
he's not French.
Yeah.
Du Bois.
Du Bois said Du Bois mentioned that double consciousness is emerged within the African American, who live in America, and he also uh, what is it? Menyamakan between the Negro and Indian who also experience colonialism. So I thought that by rejecting the identity that had been given and affected by double consciousness, it means that the character is anti-colonial, and the novel itself could become an anti-colonial and become also anti-colonial. Um, this is where, because she rejected both of the identities, she cannot put herself in both domains. She can put herself in the domain of her mother identity and her employer identity. And this is the reference.
That's it. I don't understand the argument. If she rejects double consciousness, how how does how does that enable her to be in both positions if she rejects the double consciousness? I don't understand the argument. If she rejects the double consciousness, then she's insisting on a single consciousness. Which one is that?
In Lucy, the character making new identity does not have any sense of the previous.
Yeah, what kind of identity is this? Is it pure black, or no America, or pure America and no black, or
Pure America. I thought that it's pure America. But
pure America is what? Is it white or not white?
what?
So pure America is white. So you're saying Jamaica Kincaid is proposing that
Now I'm confused.
blacks become white. Jamaica Kincaid. Michelle Obama, okay, but Jamaica Kincaid?
You mentioned earlier the double consciousness has to do with her relation with her mother and her employer. In terms of her mother, what type of consciousness that she is struggling with?
She doesn't want to become
To be like her
to be
mother,
like her mother,
which is
which is like
what type of?
doubting her to be. This is how you should be. This is the person you should.
How does her mother say she should be?
Uh, in the narration, I think that there is. Uh, her mother wants her to come to New York to become a nurse, but she doesn't want to become a nurse.
To become a what?
Nurse.
How does that anything to do with double consciousness?
Kan double, iya double
Like this
consciousness
is
kan.
like you're taking a political concept and making and then you're just applying it to whatever willy-nilly.
I thought it was like in a small place, like when the tourist
Yeah.
is having this double discourse on his mind.
Is there a
Because-
story about tomatoes in any of it? Yeah. So is it a fruit or is it a vegetable? You can't apply it like that.
Abstraknya coba lihat lagi.
Kalau bilang kesadaran ganda, masalah kesadaran bahwa ia mempunyai dua identitas, kesadarannya dua. Itu simpel mah. Saya sadar, saya tiga identitas yang berbeda. Kesadarannya dua biji. Jadi kata kesadaran ganda itu.
You have to explain what Du Bois is saying.
Ya.
What is?
Kalau bahasanya begitu.
I'll explain explanation first.
So Du Bois because it's easier because Du Bois explains it in bahasa Indonesia. Kan kalau Du Bois you nggak bisa langsung kutip langsung dari sok terjemahin ke bahasa Indonesia kalau.
What does it explain? Karena kalau dengan bahasa begini,
You have a quote by Du Bois?
Nah itu, what's the quote?
How does Du Bois define? Yeah, explain.
Kesadaran ganda itu dia definisinya seperti apa?
Atau contohnya, when Du Bois use that term,
Kalau Du Bois bilangnya, contohnya itu misalkan African American yang tinggal di Amerika itu dia nggak bisa istilah yang dia bilang itu mengafrikakan Amerika dan dia nggak bisa mengamerikakan Afrika.
Ya.
Terus dia harus menjadikannya itu jadi satu identitas baru yang namanya itu African American.
Nah, double consciousness sebelah mana?
in Lucy.
Oh, yang di Lucy ya. Sok terapin itu dulu ke Lucy.
Saya sih kalau filmnya penting ya, then you have to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
Dan kamu harus explain that first. It's your ground, kan? Nah, dan itu harus jadinya kelihatan kayak buat saya yang kayak mempengaruhi identitas karakter kan, maksudnya mempengaruhi itu
Gimana?
Yeah.
terus orang tersebut akan berusaha membuat
Saya nggak yakin hanya katanya menggabungkan gitu. That's so
Yeah.
simplistic untuk bilang identitas.
So this is almost the same problem with, well, it's actually the same problem as Ulfi's problem, and that is you're disregarding history, the complexity of history. Okay, Du Bois proposed this issue in 1903, double conscious. So in 1903, W.E.B. Du Bois tried to explain, that's one name, tried to explain the situation of African Americans. So you have to understand the history of African Americans and why it's called African American. But then Du Bois is further discussed more recently by Paul Gilroy, who proposes the idea of the Black Atlantic. Yang in Paul Gilroy's description of the world, the Atlantic has one economy, and West Africa and so America and Africa and Europe consist of the same. It is the same economy, and black is there. So it's not African or American. So you have to understand the whole thing, because you can't refer to Du Bois and jump over Gilroy, because you have to also critique Du Bois, because it was 1903. The idea can no longer, you can't, yeah, it's not like theories about race has developed. Dimasukin ke ekonomi Atlantik yang nggak terpisah gitu. Jadi kalau sampai by the time the discussion reaches Paul Gilroy, America and Africa are not separated. They're connected in one economy because they're linked. They've always been linked. Gitu. Jadi you really have to understand the concept of, and you have to, like Ulfi also has, you have to really try to understand, because you can imagine, like, for these people, for the people that you're talking about, it's been a painful history, and you can't just, you know, disregard that fact just because you want to get, like, 3 credit hours for this and 6 credit hours for your Skripsi, and then a degree. It's like these, without a Skripsi, this is already, lives, real human lives. So
the examples that you gave us earlier between Lucy and her mother, Lucy and her employer, it doesn't fit with this
Yeah.
context. So you need to. I think it fits more in the context of a small place, or maybe in Lucy as well. I think, but not those examples.
I think you fail to see the significance of what Kincaid is presenting in Lucy. Who's the employer?
Maria.
What does she do?
Also,
What's Lucy?
somewhere made or released.
Is Maria white?
Yes.
What about her mother?
He's part Indian.
So what about Lucy? So it's not about being a nurse or
Yeah,
being,
it's about
and how, the issues of employment. Yeah, okay? It's social class issue, employment, being employed, being a maid, and how it is linked to race relations.
because they regard Lucy as apa, non-white. Maria is white.
So you have to really, because it's a novella, actually it's harder, because perhaps the details of the description is not. Novellas tend to assume that you understand certain things. Um, jadi nanti akan ada cues gitu, terusnya kalau udah ada tanda ini udah berasumsi, oh masa ya nggak tahu gitu. Nah, itu setiap kali ada tanda itu kamu harus benar-benar sadar tanda itu ada.
And the way Lucy interacts with her employer, for instance, it has a lot to do with her race, kan? Iya. So uh, you focus more on that path instead of uh, being a nurse.
Kamu udah baca, have you read Paul Gilroy? Have you
But
read
you
The Boys?
you found out about the boys
From Paul Gilroy?
Not exactly finished.
Not thoroughly.
No, but what did Paul Gilroy say about Du Bois' idea of double consciousness?
Because it's already in a different context for the Black Atlantic kan kalau Gilroy.
Mm-mm. Ya jadi
Malah lebih cocok, lebih cocok yang Gilroy.
yang Gilroy.
Lebih cocok yang Gilroy untuk yang Kincaid, iya. Ya Du Bois-nya tetap harus dirujuk karena kan Gilroy-nya merujuk ke Du Bois.
Yeah, but the updated version of the theorizing.
Iya. Cuma sama aja kayak orang ya Freudian kritik sekarang ngomongin Freud dan mengkritik Freud gitu. Jadi Freudnya udah nggak bisa dirujuk lagi.
Kamu cuma bisa bilang Gilroy following
Iya.
Boys. Tapi on what matter? Kamu mau bilang bahwa that has been critiqued, that has been
Nah, belum masalah soalnya kata double consciousness itu di
elaborated
judul.
through
Dia harus yang lebih luas. Kalau
discussion on that.
yang Gilroy lebih jelas, gitu, lebih cocok.
Iya kan, kalau Gilroy yang mengacunya ke Du Bois, kamu akan menyebutkan Du Bois sebagai kind of that Freud-nya. Cuman kamu harus lihat bahwa it has been elaborated. Kayak, I'm not sure masih applicable ngomongin konstruksi gender gitu, ngomong lewat Freud gitu, pasti udah ada yang panjang lagi. But yeah, he was there the first. So,
De Beauvoir aja orang udah susah lagi. Udah sampai ke sini gitu, udah ngerti nggak? Jadi kalau misalnya ngomongin yang apa ya Marx gitu,
ya maksudnya dari banyak di-update sih.
udah ada. Jadi kalau mau baca Marx harus lewat Zizek gitu harus.
Baca versi update.
Ya bagaimana orang makainya.
Iya, bagaimana orang makainya. So gini, Marxist theory masih ada kan, masih there are people talking about that, there are people criticizing it, there are people actually still following it.
But not exactly the way Marx said it.
Yeah, so those school of thought on Marxism is what you need to follow.
Atau yang tentang black identity atau
Karena kata blacknya sendiri that create a lot of
enggak, tapi kalau Gilroy is proposing the word black because mau bilang American nggak American juga, bilang African. Yeah, the people in the Caribbean. My professor is black, and he's dead. But he says he doesn't want to be called African because he realized when he was in Africa, he realized that he wasn't African. Gitu. Tapi mau dia bilang American juga, enggak juga karena dia beda gitu. Jadi nanti ada masalah apakah African American, apakah Afro American, apakah Black atau Negro atau apa?
Konsep itu di examination, jadi kamu jadi nggak pakai Amerika, kayak tadi bilang pure Amerika. Karena kata Amerika itu sendiri is debatable. Even black is as a concept itu kamu bisa menemukan full of thought about why we use black or why
we don't use
black.
We should go back to the title. Benar, itu kesadaran Biar ini bahasa Indonesianya.
nggak ada. Ya nggak ada orang Du Boisnya pakainya double consciousness gitu.
Nggak enak tuh kayak gitu sih. Beda sama dengan
Ya, tapi masalah kayaknya sih kalau ternyata Du Bois in 1903, Jamaica Kincaid is when? What if Jamaica Kincaid is also critiquing Du Bois?
ya.
Ya, jadi atau gimana kalau Jamaica Kincaid ini misalnya tadi baru I only mentioned the possibility of Gilroy critiquing Du Bois. What if there's what if there's Gilroy, Du Bois, and Kincaid? What if there's Du Bois? What if Kincaid is theorizing race differently in all three? Gitu. Jadi kayaknya judulnya amannya jangan milih satu gitu. Karena kan kamu belum selesai bacanya. Belum selesai baca Gilroy, belum selesai baca Kincaid. Gitu kayaknya amannya apa gitu yang tentang race, tentang apa identitas rasial aja gitu.
Iya, tapi
Paling
itu sangat generik ya.
ya agak terlalu generik.
Yang lain juga nggak apa-apa sih. Working title aja anggapnya identitas rasial dan
Semuanya Caribbean nggak? Tuh, aduh, masa nggak bisa? Lucy di mana?
Lucy di Antigua, Serta di Antigua, Semoga di Antigua. Kalau Indian itu saya nggak tahu, tapi masih Karibia.
Nggak yakinnya kenapa?
Nggak disebut biasa.
Nggak ada nama tempat sama sekali.
Enggak.
Nggak ada ciri-ciri lanskap.
Deskripsi, pasti ada.
Deskripsinya paling kayak negara kepulauan gitu.
Atau ya supaya ini banget jadi misalnya kayak racial identity, identitas rasial di Karibia gitu. Jadi nggak identitas rasial di mana-mana gitu.
Fokusnya di Karibia.
Enggak, tapi if you do that, you need to really
Make sure.
you're assuming that Caribbean identity has a special problematic. Jadi misalnya teori tentang people of African descent di daratan Amerika sama di Karibia harus beda. Misalnya karena pulau, karena sejarahnya beda kan.
Coba diketik dulu. Identitas rasial di Karibia dalam.
Tapi udah Jamaica King. Nggak, maksud saya itu
yang sebelumnya dibahas Jamaica Kincaid siapa ya?
si Kenny.
Ini bahasnya apa? Soalnya ingat
Lupa.
Si Kenny itu tourism itu.
Oh iya turisme. No, turisme.
Oh, kayaknya homoseksual.
Bukan. Kenny mah Jamaica Kincaid. Yang homoseksual.
Kenny yang
Bukan Kenny Andriana.
bukan.
Kenny Yalaya.
Kenny yang
Lagian Kenny's sexual orientation is irrelevant here. Loh, Kenny mau homoseksual. Nih. Kalau Kenny mau come out, biar dia sendiri, jangan kamu gitu. Atau misalnya identitas, nggak harus identitas rasial, atau misalnya identitas Karibia gitu.
Identitas
Karibia aja.
Iya.
Karibia aja, jangan pakai rasialnya.
Jadi nanti bisa kalau kamu ngomongin nurse boleh lah gitu. If it's a Caribbean nurse gitu.
Jadi dalam konsep
Tapi enggak juga ya, maksudnya saya nggak bayangin ya, ada kemungkinan misalnya Maria is Caribbean tetapi race-nya nggak sama gitu.
ya,
Iya kan?
Karibia
Pertanyaan
aja.
saya tadi ini kalau double consciousness dihilangkan, pembacanya yang belum selesai itu sebenarnya bisa masuk ke double consciousness.
Oh ya identitas Karibia, terus nanti bisa segala macam permasalahan rasnya.
Karibia aja masukin nanti.
Jadi,
Lihat
ya.
gimana teksnya.
Ya,
Maunya
karena
sama.
saya melihatnya bagian yang kedua itu how does experiencing double consciousness influence someone's identity?
Iya.
Yang kedua.
Yang di
Jadi kalau pembacaan dia
Ya.
itu, ya itu.
Terusnya nanti kalau misalnya ketemu situasi experience lain selain double consciousness, nanti
Ya,
dimasukin lagi.
yang pertama itu yang kayaknya udah jelas-jelas ada itu kan what constitutes identity,
Iya.
race, ethnicity dan lain sebagainya itu pasti ada. Nah, yang keduanya itu yang double consciousness kalau bacanya memang masuk ke situ.
Okay, yes, you may read the title.
The proposal
Identitas karya.
for my research identitas karya dalam 4 karya dan
Next. Siapa berikutnya? Paris.
Everyday Paris, topiknya itu Paris.
Yes.
Si Ari ya,
Ini nyakut dulu. Duh. Ya mati.
Yes, you may start.
Okay, good morning everyone. I would like to give a presentation of my proposal for my undergraduate thesis, which is moralitas dalam kegiatan yang akademik. The three works of Anthony Bernice, entitled Global Currents, shows that there are problematics regarding morality of the law and moral portrayed in novel as an antagonist,
Could you please speak louder?
which then become an opposition for protagonist character in the novel.
Oh.
Ini nggak stabil banget.
Iya. Itu kayak gitu tuh harus dilakban.
Okay, my abstract. The three works of Anthony Burgess, entitled A Clockwork Orange, Turn Set, and the one DC, shows that there are problematics regarding morality or the law and or portrayed in the novel as an antagonist, which then become an opposition for protagonist character in the novel. The concept of moral dualism, which is found in the novel, is related to a contrast between personal conduct and social structure. A benefits in this journal article also discuss about morality and how violence within an individual will changes, which is different when compared to violence within a ruling institution or the state, which remain static. In the novel, the protagonist undergoes a change in their morality to become better through, as how the novel implied, maturing for a crop of orange, escaping for general intent, or rebelling in the one DC. This is the works that I will be studying for my undergraduate thesis. One is a crop of orange, 1962. The second is the one DC, 1962. The third one is the general intent, 1966. And the objectives for my undergraduate thesis are as follows. The first one is to explain how moral value is shown through the protagonist in three of Burgess' novels. And the second is to explain how the novel serves as an institution which controls morality of a certain society.
Dia udah tahu.
And these are my tentative findings so far. In A Clockwork Orange, the narrator indicated that human is a machine, and this statement was reinforced by the structure of the narration in the novel of Alex, which repeats the question what is going to be remade 11 times in the whole novel of Clockwork Orange, like a machine undergoing a reset. That's what I imagined. Furthermore, the word structure in the first and last chapter is following the same structure. Uh, yeah. And the second is career in terms of that also under the small character when he uses his body as a tool to reset his life before the character and before the character then transform himself to follow the good morality. So there is similarities between the two, which is the like the reset. They have to reset something in order to become better. And this every other place. Okay, I move on from question and suggestion.
Tujuan, could you please show us the tujuan? Nilai moral value. How moral value is shown through the characters. How, for instance?
The what value that the character hold, I think, that Alex did feel slightly guilty when he talked with people.
So he feels slightly
He
guilty.
doesn't feel any kind of.
But even when he commits violent acts, isn't that a kind of moral? It isn't. Does that also reflect a different kind of moral value?
Yes, and actually he knew that there is good or bad, but uh, he just don't care about it.
No, I mean, can't violent acts also be deemed adhering to a particular kind of moral value, like violence perpetrated by the state or by in the name of science? Because basically, he's conditioned. When he's conditioned, he's also experiencing violent acts perpetrated by other parties.
Yes, but that's also portrayed as bad, I think, in the novel. The only thing portrayed as a good moral is religion, and in the form of
Was it considered good by whom?
by the narrative. Yes, there's because there is a pastor, prison Charlie. He is the only one who condemned the vertical technique, and he's the only one who cares.
So how do we know? How do we know which voice or which view is the moral represents the moral value of the novel? Because your assumption is the prison Charlie represents the moral value, the moral standards of the novel. Karena kata kamu, you said like he's the only one who's always presented good. So there's a sense, if you read the novel, there's a sense that this is good, this is bad, but it's not quite from the perspective of the character, but it's in the way the novel presents it. Yes, no, because the prison Charlie has is not presented having bad characters in any way.
Yeah, and he's the one who tried to protect Alex.
Yeah, but then that means there is a moral standard that the novel adheres to.
In that case, are you going to use the word good as opposed to bad? Are you going to use that in your analysis?
I think I can because it's
No, I was just thinking, why don't you just use morality that adheres to rather than bad or good? I don't know.
But it seems that the way he explains it, it seems that the novel adheres, believes that there is a good, there is good and there is bad. Gitu. Cuma most characters are sometimes good and sometimes bad. And but there is one character which is like the moral standard, which is who is always good. And everything else that's not that is bad. So the question is, how does the novel present such a standard, and how does it present that as a standard? Do you understand? Gimana kita tahu bahwa itu patokannya gitu? Pasti si novelnya kan nunjukin nih, oh yang ini patokannya gitu. Nah dia mah pasti baik gitu si Prison Charlie-nya. Nah gimana sih pembaca bisa gets the impression that the Prison Charlie is actually the moral standard of the novel? Atau si novelnya punya standard kan? Atau nggak punya? Hah?
But if the novel does imply that this is good, this is bad, so there's a standard, huh?
That the novel adheres to.
Nah maksudnya jadi yang komentari Pak Ali tadi itu untuk menjawab pertanyaan nomor 1.
Ya patokannya apa gitu.
Apa?
Soalnya kan naratornya tetap si Alex. Tapi patokannya bukan dia. Nah itu gimana itu gitu.
so it should be depend on Alex's perspective.
No.
Not necessarily.
Mike, what I'd like to hear from you or read in your Skripsi later would be how you can explain, despite the fact that Alex is the sole narrator of the whole novel, the novel can present him. The novel actually has another character as the moral standard. Ngerti nggak? It's kind of interesting kan. Jadi si naratornya itu bukan yang megang standar moralnya gitu.
Itu institusi itu.
Apa? Enggak, si presiden institusinya juga jahat kan?
By institution.
There's two institutions that I see, which one is government and the other is religion.
And religion is good. In all three?
No, in the channel of intent is portrayed as good, but I haven't read fully what he says, but I think it's the exact opposite. Because the main character tries to rebel against the religion.
No, so when you come to that discussion, you might find like a distinction between religious belief or faith and the religious institution. Maksudnya, the religious faith itself is an institution, but it's not a social institution. Do you understand? Jadi, like literature is an institution, gitu ya. But pengetahuan sastra program atau Departemen Susastra dan Kajian Budaya, it's an actual, organizational institution gitu. Nah, jadi nanti mungkin harus dibedakan antara sastra abstrak sama lembaga apa sastra gitu. Ngerti maksudnya? Soalnya nanti kan ada gereja, tapi ada agamanya sendiri gitu. Jadi mungkin agamanya baik, tapi gerejanya enggak gitu. Yeah. We're waiting for him to take notes. We're waiting for him to take notes.
Yeah, you can go back to the title.
PPT-nya dari judulnya.
Nggak diganti ini udah.
Enggak.
Moralitas dalam dibacain aja. Tadi
My proposed title for my undergrad thesis is moralitas dalam tiga karya Anthony Burgess.
Kudit Burgess,
Hah?
Kudit,
Radi.
Onyon kan?
Hah?
Onyon kan?
Udah lama sih.
Onion siapa?
Hari Panda, Hari Soekarna, Hari Nur Soekarna.
Oh, I know. Panda something gitu ya.
Hari Panda, Hari Onyon, Hari Nur Soekarna. Your wali kan?
Yes, I know.
Ya.
Tapi nggak pernah tahu hari Onion.
Itu Onyon mah itu Ono. Kan itu panggilan kesayangannya Ono pada when in private.
Kalau berapa sih hari Onion?
Dia di Kemen.
Dia kan sekolah di Inggris.
Iya, tapi komunikasi IT. Dia kan statistika. Enggak dia bukan sebenarnya gabungan antara keduanya. Karena jadi kominfo dia.
Yes, you may start, Radi.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Today I would like to present my proposed undergraduate thesis titled Subsidiary Subject dalam Pembuatan Digital Intelligence. Here is my proposed abstract. The collection of C.S. Eliot's poems, especially from other observations, poems, as Wednesday and Ariel poems shows the existence of a hierarchy of subjects that represents gender and cultural hegemony. The hierarchy in question is formed through the dominance or authority of certain subjects over other subjects in the poems. This relates to the concept of hegemony put forward by Williams, in which hegemony is seen as a culture that consists of domination and subordination in a particular social class. The subject in the poems is often a character or an inanimate object who possesses a kind of consciousness, along with their gender pronouns and depictions of their social class. The construction of this subject stems from Wellesley's description of the subject, which is that the subject is not merely a diverse of subjects, but also a subject being who submits to the authority of the works that I will be studying are the
Syntax.
poems
Itu harusnya subject of the utterance harus pakai istilah.
spanning from 1949 to 1962, which contains nearly all the poems that he has ever written.
Which is how many?
About 40 years.
About 49.
This is Eliot. Yes, Eliot.
Yeah, Eliot is just one, is enough.
Yeah, no, about 49 or 49?
Because like about is like about 50, you know, but 49 is.
Yeah, should I say about with a specific number?
49, for example, like the wavelength, I count as only one poem.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine, but the way you use the word about and a very specific number.
Harganya berapa? Sekitar 495.
No, it's about 49, but actually it's 49.2.
It's exactly 49. And then the objectives of my undergraduate thesis are first to show how a subject dominates or has an authority over other subjects that eventually forms a hierarchy in the poem. And second, to show how the construction of the subject's hierarchy represents the gender as well as cultural. So far, my tentative findings are, in some of Eliot's poems, there's an authoritative subject that gives orders to other subjects, as is the case with Radicula Luminat, Taking Galante, and La Curia Beyond. The dominant subject can be that of the poet through the eye or an inanimate object which has been given consciousness. Meanwhile, there are subjects who are ordered or described without being given voice. Oftentimes, there are women or inanimate objects with feminine pronouns. In poems such as Preludes, Morning at the Window, and Mr. Polymax, subjects at the top of the hierarchy are those who are more knowledgeable and wealthier. They form domination through their depiction of subjects who are less knowledgeable and wealthy. such as workers and household assistants in this case. In poems such as the Hippopotamus, the Song of Simeon, and Burbank with the Vinegar, less famous cigar, the subject that is portrayed as the dominant one is the actual subject, or God. However, other subjects such as the eye of the poet himself. But the eye who submits to the actual subject still places himself higher above other subjects who are not of the same belief, influence. These are the books and articles that I've read, which became the basis of this proposed undergraduate thesis that I was interested in.
Could you please go back to abstract?
Have you read Foucault when he talks about the subject of the utterance and the subject of the something?
I think that he also brings that up, but it's from authors there.
What to say? Yeah, what to say.
Yeah, but Foucault makes a distinction between le sujet and the l'énonce, of the enunciation and the utterance.
Yeah.
Itu supaya nggak pakai istilah subjek gramatikal itu loh. Because I'm not sure if people whether it's the subject of the sentence gitu, syntactic subject atau apa gitu. Jadi you should use the terms that these different people use, also to help you sort of like see the varied ways different theorists view this issue. Jadi kalau Foucault ngeliatnya gimana, Christopher ngeliatnya gimana, Althusser ngeliatnya gimana, Belzing ngeliatnya gimana. Terus yang ngutip Belzing ngeliatnya gimana.
Kalau the idea of subjects being hierarchical itu, you are going to connect it with what kind of idea? The fact that, in your opinion, subjects are ordered hierarchically. It's got to do with what? Hmm?
With the agenda.
When you talk about the subject, do you talk about like a British subject? Yeah, like the subject, like in the term a British subject. You don't know what a British subject is? Someone who is subject to British law. Like subjected, subjugate. He's subjected to the regulations. That kind of subject. Which one is that? Yang kayak gitu.
The one that's for me is on the lower hierarchy, like the subordinate.
Yeah, but what kind of subject is that?
It's
Soalnya kamu belian subjeknya tuh kayak subjek the one who has consciousness, but not the one who needs to bow down to something.
But the one who has consciousness also bows down to the other one who has.
No, but it's a different meaning. Maksudnya they're related, but it's a different kind of relation, different kind of conceptualizing gitu. So I think you have to think about the word subject
Yeah.
as being subjected to rather than the subject who.
Yeah. Because you're being a subject at the same time you're being an object, like the British
Yeah,
subject,
yeah.
you're an object of the British law.
Yeah.
Which is something also that
Or yeah, you can talk to Faris about what it means to be a legal subject. He looks like a lawyer, no?
OOTD.
Kayak subjek pajak, subjek hukum gitu. I don't think it's the same.
Ada lagi yang lain? Judul.
But, technical question, how many pages is this, the collected one?
About
249 poems altogether.
But it's all of it.
That is Eliot, yeah.
Yeah. It's all of Eliot, basically.
Is it enough?
You can go more because that's all of
Yeah.
it. All of Eliot is there. Actually, my suggestion is he focuses on ones that are. He focuses on like really obvious works, and then use the others as sort of like support.
No, what I'm saying is that because you usually cannot book rank
Yeah.
as object of for Skripsi, then he needs to give an explanation about why there is
Yeah.
only one book rank of
Yeah. Oh, actually, what he's doing is he's reading the collected works, but the works in the collected works had been published before as three books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody
Understands, yeah.
Because that's, we don't want to people to
Iya,
create,
iya. Kok Radi boleh sih gitu.
So you need to
Boleh kalau kamu mau ngebahas Elliot mah gitu.
the price file has been previously published
Yeah.
as 3 different book
Uh,
rank.
collection, ya.
Okay, title. Judul sudah ya, ada masalah. Konstruksi hierarki subjek.
Hierarkinya perlu gitu.
Ya, I don't think so.
Ya, saya takutnya nanti tahu-taunya ada yang
Tapi kan why?
konstruksi subjek biar nanti kalau ada yang tidak hierarkis.
Konstruksi subjek.
The title of my proposed undergraduate thesis is Konstruksi Subjek dalam Usulan Puisi KSL.
Next, Faisal.
Kamu jam 12 bisa. Ini si Radi sama si Faris harus latihan. Iya, cuma Mamba harus latihan ini. Good morning.
Today I would like to present my thesis title,
Good morning.
Universitas ada 3 novel atau saksi.
Tadi ada tapi jatuh.
Ada saksi, Break the World, and Assess an Island show the issues of religiosity in an utopia futuristic genre. Religiosity in here is a rule of middling human desire because in the 20th century there's more genocide from the World War I to World War II than the previous century, and also misinterpretation of people in that era of the purpose of human beings to take care of this world. There are 3 words that I will be studying. There are Brave New World, Age in a Sense, and Island. And then the objective of my speech are to show the way for points of religion is used as a bad moral in this novel, and to show the structure is used of religiosity in the novel. In other Huxley novel, Brave New World separated by man-made alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, and epsilon controlled by central London expectancy. These states centralized all totalitarianism like Hitler, Stalin, and Elizabeth I, the dictatorial upgrade. Authority as their life. Religiosity in here show as enabling role of controlling human understanding.
Can you also like talk to us? You know?
Kira semua itu demografi.
Bibliography, essence, ape and essence.
Ya.
Ya, ya lumayan ada sesuatu sejak STL.
Yang
Eh, yang bikin buat video.
sudah ini sampai menjelang selesai masih belum ketemu judulnya.
Akhir semester buatnya ini bunda gue ini kenapa?
Oke, nggak tahu.
Oke,
Tujuan. Coba ke tujuan. Distopia.
Can you really read slowly and clearly number one in bahasa Indonesia?
Itu
Coba.
kayaknya harusnya ada di deh.
Coba dibaca so it's clear so you can hear what we can't understand. Pelan-pelan. Tujuan skripsi saya adalah yang ngomong yang keras dan jelas.
Tujuan skripsi saya adalah menjelaskan cara adopsi dari konsep utopia dan distopia dalam pendidikan saya adopsi menjadikan.
Harus ada yang didelit tuh.
What do you mean?
Mungkin itu ke bawah ya.
Atau itu yang kedua?
Tinggal di aja itu
Di enter aja. Escape dulu.
You make it easy for Pak Ari to bully.
Harusnya sama buri bukan bully. Garing sih sebenarnya. Gak mau diucapin garing. Gak jadi.
As many of your jokes are there.
Iya. Terus kata mereka nggak boleh masih pagi. Dan bukan weekend.
Kenapa lama?
Ini komputer. Ada tombol-tombol.
Masih. Ketinggalan lain.
Kenapa di budaya Korea kemarin nggak ada kayak ginian? Udah belum?
Udah.
Aduh.
Di enter yang menyajikan yang kedua.
Udah aja kayak gitu.
Tapi nggak keluar, nah.
Sekarang, dia nggak tahu cara. Ini di sini nih. No. Jadi kelihatan di YouTube.
Nyajikan.
Ya, benerin lagi.
Oh, jadi utopia distopia dulu, baru religiositas.
Iya.
Kalau harus jemput. Utopia distopia, terus religiositas. Membentuk struktur.
Nih kalau saya ada paulnya ada banyak konsep ya.
Iya.
Nomor satu, you talk about dystopia, that would be through skripsi. And then usulan Justisas. Tadi kan Martis lihat ngomongin moralitas sendirian aku.
Iya.
Sekarang kamu ada di term keempat. Sekarang setelah dystopia, religiositas, terus moral. Udah gitu sekarang kamu struktur, which is also another big thing to discuss. So I wouldn't suggest you do something like this for skripsi.
Iya. Boleh sih kalau misalnya kayak 5 skripsi.
Iya, kalau 5 skripsi boleh, tapi kalau cuma 1, I would suggest you pick something that you are really most comfortable with, or something that you have more knowledge about. Judul kamu apa?
Ya udah, religiositas harusnya ada dari awal.
Jadi yang satunya nggak usah. Hapus aja.
Dicatat aja.
Dicatat aja, nggak usah dibenerin. Yang penting judul nanti mah.
Poin pertama dihapus yang utopia distopia.
Oh, kamu tuh angkatan 2015?
Yang ketiga tadi apa? Struktur membangun.
Nah, itu juga itu
Ya pasti ngomongin struktur, cuma nggak usah.
dibilang satu apa research question.
Iya.
So it should be done when you talk about university. Jadi
Kalau konteks utopia distopianya udah ya pasti mau
Masuk,
nggak mau ke
pasti masuk.
orang ngomongin Huxley gitu. Ya udah itu mah nanti urusan pembimbingnya aja.
Iya, tinggal ngarahin.
Ya biar nanti Tisna aja yang ngurus.
Ini mau menahan diri.
udah.
Ya, ke judul, ke
Udah
judul.
berarti judulnya.
Baca.
Religio kayak religio. Coba lihat KBBI gerak.
Saya emang apa PBI gimana jadinya?
Enggak, ah? KBBI.
Yuk.
Gini dah.
Gio. Oh.
Religio.
Hah?
Religio.
Gio.
Kamu jangan.
Iya.
Reli.
Bukan KBBI web ini. Yang Kemendikbud sama aja sih. Bisi web beda.
Oh gitu ya. Padahal religius ya.
Enggak, kan religiosity.
Oke, pakai O, pakai O.
Yang Kemendikbud.
Religiositas.
Gio kan, Gio. Enggak religius.
Ya makanya. PBI kan ada. Makanya saya I would be very selective in what I would use from PBI.
Tapi kan bahasa Inggrisnya religiosity.
Iya, tapi bahasa Indonesia
Oh.
religius. Kenapa religius jadi religius? Nggak bisa, that doesn't make sense.
Jadi what do we do?
Jadi kalau kata saya mah, your main sometimes we need to define that to actually say what you do is not working.
Soalnya yang diterbitin departemen religio.
Iya. Nggak tahu lah itu mah kan
Oh.
orang semua yang banyak. Tapi kalau langsung saya nggak akan soalnya kalau menurut itu mah PBI. Jadi pemain
Iya.
stereotip nggak bisa saya. Ajar bilang tidak. Stereotipe.
Iya, soalnya nggak ada tip. Tip ada tapi.
Ya tip yang lain kan.
Iya.
Seribu yang ngasih tip.
Enggak, kalau saya mah si valenya tuh saya gini-giniin. Tip. Jadi tip. Terus dianya gini.
Udah tinggal dibaca.
Religiositas dalam 3 novel karya Radha.
Sip. Abiu.
Abiu, mau kemana Mbak kelas?
Wah, sering dia mah. Tapi dia cukup pintar untuk nggak nongol di kantin PSBJ pada waktu dia nggak masuk kelas. Soalnya banyak mahasiswa yang nggak pintar itu. Ya nggak tahu, banyak kayak gitu. Misalnya masuk ke kelas nggak masuk, tentunya pas ke kantin, ada. Itu agak bodoh itu. Pas keluar dari gedung C, ada di Bambir. Gitu. Oh iya, dia tadi yang ekstensinya PPTM. PPTM, bukan PPTX. Oh, itu teh virus. Virus. Ada virusnya somewhere.
Pas di save.
Jadi makronya. PPTM ini kerja di situ pusat penelitian teknologi mineral. Yang mau ingat ya, yang kita ada kawinan di situ juga.
PTMP.
Bukan, yang di Sudirman, PPTM.
PTMP sih.
Mbak Dery tuh kerja di PPTM. Mbak Dery kerja di PPTM yang di Sudirman. Dari Yohanes.
Oh
9.
iya, apa tuh?
Enggak, dia ekstensinya PPTM. PPTM mah Pusat Penelitian Teknologi Mineral. Aduh,
Berapa lagi nih?
udah dia.
Terakhir.
Oh.
Makanya harus agak lama.
Mario nggak ada ya Pak? Mario. Okay, morning everyone.
Morning.
Today I would like to present my undergraduate thesis entitled War and Adultery in the Trilogy of Bernard Cornwell.
Who the hell is Bernard Cornwell?
This is the third of nine. In Bernard Cornwell, the War Chronicles trilogy, The Winter King, The Enemy of God, and Excalibur. Tell a story about King Arthur who tries to unite Britain and fight against Saxon. The novels, they present war and adultery, which describe in narration or composition between the characters, and the adultery in the story were described by the characters who do it, which resulted in conflict over someone that even causing a war. These are my work that I will discuss in my undergraduate thesis. The first is The Winter King, which was published in 1995. Then The Enemy of God, published in 1996. And the last is The Excalibur, which was published in 1997. The purpose of my undergraduate thesis are first is to explain how war and adultery represented in the three novels by Cornwell. And second is to explain the relation between war and adultery in works. My finding in the novel The Winter King is that the adultery which represented by narration before making alliance with Powys for fighting Saxon, Arthur who betrothed or engaged to the king Gortydic's daughter Kenwyn was postponing their marriage, then marrying the Guinevere instead, which Guinevere is engaged to Bellerin. And then Bellerin tried to challenge Arthur, but he refused, and the marriage between Arthur and Guinevere is making the Powys and Dumnonia into a civil war. And this is my reference for my undergraduate thesis.
Wait a minute. Can you see the example there? Okay. My question is, what's your definition of adultery? Adultery.
What is it?
What do you mean by
It's
that?
a violation of
Lord of
both
the Rings
justice
ya yang
and
bagus.
social.
No, like say it in bahasa Indonesia. What's adultery?
Pelanggaran.
No. Apa yang kalau orang kayak gini, begini sama ini, itu namanya adultery, Cok. Gitu.
Oh, terus satu individu sama individu lain melakukan apa ya? Perselingkuhan.
Perselingkuhan yang kayak gimana? Individu A-nya harus gimana, individu B-nya harus kayak gimana?
Individu A-nya itu harus memiliki relationship dengan individu lain dan yang
Enggak, harus ada kata marriage-nya somewhere.
Iya, kalau ini mana?
Adultery itu.
Tapi perzinahan dia ininya tadi kata bukan.
Iya, makanya dia maksud kamu itu adultery, fornication, atau extramarital sex. What do you want? What do you mean? Karena zina can be, ini masih gini, ini zina yang didera atau zina yang dirajam? Yang didera, itu namanya fornication, bukan adultery. Jadi nanti rujukan kamu nggak boleh ada yang pakai adultery. Fornication. The F word. Enggak, tapi like why are you discussing it?
That's my point.
What's the problem?
Because what we have there is just
A story.
a story. This is not an issue.
Dalam novel The Winter King, Arthur sudah bertunangan dengan Gwen menunda-nunda pernikahan dan malah menikahi Gulliver yang sudah bertunangan dengan Valeria sehingga ia menantang Arthur berdua. Ini adultery bukan fornication bukan. When do they have sex? Jadi kalau kayak gini ya, misalnya ada anak umur 12 tahun kemarin nonton bareng sama anak 12 tahun. Besoknya anak 12 tahun ini terusnya main gundul sama anak umur 12 tahun yang lain. Terus yang satunya marah, "Oh, kamu mau kemarin sama saya nonton, nanti sekarang main gundulnya sama orang lain." Itu bukan apa-apa.
Main dulu itu.
harus ada adegan seksnya, dan seksnya itu harus minimum ada bahasan.
Iya.
Emang kalau kayak gini kenapa?
Perang.
Itu mah itu sering terjadi sama banyak orang. Nggak ngaruh. Bukan, pertanyaannya emang kalau ada adultery.
Dia ngomongnya incest. This is another story. Tadi ngomong
Iya, kalau ada seks emang kenapa? What if people have sex? You know people do.
some people do.
Some people. You know.
No.
But if people have sex or not, so what? And if a story presents people having sex or not, so what?
That's one. And then you just try to relate it to war.
Nah, itu apa lagi? Like how? Unless you saya lagi ngebahas di tengah-tengah gitu. 5 menit gitu. Ya bisa sempat. Saya emang nggak ngejemput, saya emang ngajar, dia yang jemput.
Perang, ya kenapa perang penting?
Iya.
Apa menurut kamu untuk dibahas?
Ada perang. Jadi perang itu menunjukkan apa?
What other issues have you found? Disobey already did they how?
Jadi contohnya tuh yang pas si King Arthurnya dilihat sama si Guinevere-nya yang Guinevere ke transport, itu si Guinevere juga menghasut si Christian sama sama buat
Nah, orang concerned is that you're trying to get a topic from like your eavesdropping gitu. How is an issue?
Iya, jadi gini.
This is not an issue. You just like you read one paragraph and say, oh, this is an issue.
Iya. Jadi kenapa nggak ngomongin masalah misalnya kayak pelestarian hutan, karena di dalam cerita di 3 novel ada pohon semuanya. Jadi bukan, it's not enough to say that there is that gitu in the novel. Atau ada api, jadi api dalam 3 novel karya gitu. Ya nggak bisa. What's the apa yang mau diomongin?
Saya pikir
Ya udah pengen ngebahas bagaimana berhubungan seks di tengah-tengah peperangan.
Ya gampang berarti dibela.
bukan saya tuh ngebayanginnya.
Kenapa harus disemak?
Tentang apa? Adulterous love is preferable because marriage imposes obligation, dan orang-orang ini sedang nggak pengen ada hubungannya sama dikenai sebuah obligation. Jadi larinya kan ke situ.
Karena perang.
Tapi ini kan masalahnya gini, kalau kamu ngaitinnya sama the fact that marriage is when you're talking about Arthur and his society, itu kan selalu it's always political. Sex is another kind of politics gitu. Beda lagi interactionnya, relationshipnya. Nah, kalau kamu ngebahas kayak gitu mah ya bisa aja Jita. Cuma nunjukin apa gitu. Misalnya kayak Cornwell itu terbitnya kapan?
Iya, makanya tadi tahun 19 berapa? 96. And then he's writing about
Arthur Y.
yang udah
ini.
Gitu. Kemudian diangkat lagi. Buat apa sih? Gitu apa perlunya ngomongin lagi Arthur yang udah lewat? Kenapa
Ini
nggak
jadi kayak
ngomongin
lu lah,
yang
tapi
sekarang?
with less intellectual ability. Soalnya yang sebelumnya ngomong tentang Arthurian novels juga it's very she didn't quite succeed. Karena ujung-ujungnya jadi cuma ngegosipin novelnya doang. Gitu. And her
Dan saya lihatnya si ini juga kayak ini bahasanya bahasa gosip.
iya, dalam novel Arthur yang sudah berjalan dengan saya ini mudah-mudahan udah ya biarin aja.
Mungkin kamu harus cari yang kalau saya ada di situ.
Emang dia harus kawin sama Guinevere lah. Ceritanya lagian kan untuk menjaga keutuhan Britain, bukan?
Ya, that context.
Terus yang menantang Arthur berdua, jadi emang apa gitu? Is this part of the story? Kalau Arthur berhubungan saja pakai kaos kaki apa enggak? Ya, biasa. It's not going anywhere.
Iya, emang dari awal nggak jelas. Hah? Dari awal memang Abiu belum jelas.
Aja deh kalau kata sih. Bisa nggak dipospon? Dia doang.
Iya.
Ya udah.
Memang dia terakhir.
Ya nggak bisa berhenti itu.
Yeah, there's no issue. There's not even like something that we can help you develop gitu. We're not clear what you're trying to do.
Ya, maybe find other works. Sama pulang. Well, saya bilang everything about it is not working. So you need to explore.
Ya jadi gini, before you try to propose a title for your skripsi, it would be better if you just come to class.
Oh, STL juga ya?
STL iya, critical theory iya, but he's constantly absent, and when people are talking about what he needs to know, he's not talking about it. Jadi
berarti yang Abiu dipospon dulu. Oke. Dah.
So see you around, see you in the class ya.
Nanti pengumuman pembimbing-pembimbingnya minggu depan ya, baru bisa minggu depan. Di live nanti akan disebutkan siapa saja pembimbingnya.
nunggu 1 minggu dosennya rebutan dulu gitu, nolak orang.
Minggu depan udah nggak ada perkuliahan.
Boleh lanjutkan nggak pengen sama saya?
Enggak. Katanya sih ya 8 5-nya mau pembimbing 1-nya mau kamu tuh. Kalau misalnya pada mau kamu semua pembimbing 1-nya gimana ya? Kirain tadi mau nawarin gitu.
Makasih ya.
Ayo silakan, ayo sekarang. Nah, coba aja rasain tanpa beban, tuh ngecapruk aja salah-salah gitu. Masih live soalnya. Ya ada dong.